I want to get to why we love this UFC 327 so much. Why is this still up there? I guess if I okay. Okay. So there is an John Daniel or Daniel, yeah, it's John Daniel Kane, General Raising Kane. So his name is John Daniel. So John wrote the book of Revelation. Daniel wrote the book of Daniel, both end times gospels. Born August 10th. We always have to keep in that 1968, of course. We always, which 2001 A Space Odyssey, RFK, JFK, a Heidi game on 11/17, per the Bible verse, with the right eye utterly darkened Raiders played the Jets. The Jets brought down the Twin Trumps. The Jets killed Donnie Darko with the jet engine. 22nd chairman, so 22. The 22nd prime number is 79, which is murder. Birthday August 10th. Uh, an extremely high watch day for the event because it would have him rising on a total solar eclipse of August 12th, and it's the day Sirius the Dog Star rises. So let's make sure that we keep in mind that August 10th is by far like the highest watch day there possibly could be. Tomorrow's an extremely high watch day, the 31st. Why is that? Because you go, remember Trump's number is 6 times 14 times 1946. His number is 163464. You multiply that by 2026. Whoops. 2026. And you do get the 331. Followed by Revelation 11:7, the beast rising from the pit. So death and rising coded. Tomorrow, extremely high watch day. It's till Tuesday. Voices carry Donnie Darko. And what this video is about is I want us to really take a hardcore look at UFC 327. Ed Harris is Admiral Kane in Top Gun. Speaking of military leaders with the name Kane. You see the 305 right here? I don't know. I guess this arrow almost has the 3 knocked out. Um, maybe it's kind of going see through, but you can see the 305 with the word shooter. And that's at the opening of the movie. Here's a 410, which is the Friday, which is UFC's 327 ceremonial weigh-in. Is he going to go down on a Friday? And here's 500 Antichrist at the beginning of Top Gun Maverick. And G500 is Antichrist in Strong's Concordance. That's why he rode the Beast vehicle around the Daytona 500 track twice, both times on 216, which is James Bond's car type because it's 6x6x6. Again, shooter Ed Harris, named Kane. And when Maverick sits down, it looks like 412, it looks like an 840. So I want us to look at this 412 because that would be the Sunday. Now, I would think that's a high watch day for the event. If you look, I'm born 7/6/1961. 7 times 6 is 42. 42 times 1961 is 82362. You multiply that times 2026, and it ends in 412. It begins with 166. 66 book of the Bible is Revelation. It's got the 68, which is Donald J. Trump in reverse reduction, and it's Antichrist in reverse reduction. 68. Perfect match. Also, it has the 86ing of Antichrist Donald J. Trump. The 686 is coded together, fuses all with Revelation. And here's a 65. The 65th prime number is 313, the Zapruder film headshot. Also, don't forget 331. Most countries write the date backwards. 313. That's, again, why Tuesday is a very high watch day. So I like this 412 due to that personal cipher as it hits with me. If we look at 331 2412, what begins Trump's number for the year and ends with my number for the year times the year, you're looking at 12 solid days, aren't you? Well, if you include the 31st, you're looking at 13 solid days. 31st would be day one, then the first is 2, so by the time you get to the 12, it's 13. That's interesting. All right, so let's get on with it. So you see Tom Cruise on this 412 date. Now, as midnight strikes, UFC 412 will just about be ending. And Trump attends a lot of these UFC Miami events. Is he going to be at this one? Because remember, Dana White introduced him at the RNC and then spoke on the eve of the, I think the eve of the inauguration. And Dana White's like his big buddy. And so is this all setting up for this fake staged right eye wound event to take place at a UFC event? Well, is he going to be pronounced dead on 412? Notice the white and then the red. That's interesting. Okay. And there's this 412 again. This is where they have him as Iron Man. The iron mixing with clay is the well, let's go back to iPet Goat when they show him being hit by the technology. The technology is what is programming. It just shows the blue-eyed Trump getting programmed by the tech. Notice he's connected to the technology through the technology cord there, and it's wiring, and there's his blue eyes. And this is him going through that ritual transformation. Okay. So let's get back. So the Iron Man or the iron mixing with clay, the iron is the technology. And it says they shall mingle themselves with the seed of man. So you notice they're mingling, and it's not really the technology that they mingle with like they want you to think. It's just simply through the technology. Satan is the prince of the power of the air. So it's through the technology, through the air, they will then fly through the air invisibly and just possess the human body once they worship the image of the beast. It's just total human body possession. Remember, Reagan got possessed by what? Playing with a Ouija board. It just entered her. And Venom, the symbiotic relationship between the entity and the human host died off, just like the iron does not, iron and clay do not cleave to one another. This is all in Daniel 2, 41 through 43. So you're being told and shown right here, though, that Trump or Top Gun Maverick, and there are Top Gun Maverick memes with Trump. I think I might have even put that in here. But yeah, they constantly have his face melding with the technology. Here's a 101.17 for 11.17, or the beast rising. And notice that 101, day 101 is Saturday 4/11. April 11th is the 101st day of the year. And it's fused with that 79 for murder. There's a wider shot to see that it is on the tail end of the Navy jet. UFC 327, it's got, this is the beginning of Spectre. And Bond walks up to his door. He's dressed in a skeleton outfit. Don't forget Donnie Darko also wore the skeleton outfit. This is a Day of the Dead celebration in Mexico City. And so I guess Trump with the meme. Donald Trump is Top Gun Maverick. And so they have these meme images. Some of them were for president. There it is right there, where my cursor is. On the left-hand side, you see Donald Trump, president, Top Gun. So, yeah. All right. So what I want to do now is get into Rachel Dawes is 1117 in the Jewish Hebrew Gematria. She is Batman's love interest. The lady that played her in The Dark Knight, 2412, she does have 79 murder. Murder in simple gematria is 79, and she has 79 in her days to that date. If you include both dates, then it works for Saturday. We run it to Saturday and include both dates. There it is. So this Saturday, Sunday in April, this is definitely high watch time frame. Christian Bale, when you run his birthday to the rising day, now it's a spiritual rising where Satan simply possesses the body. Like I told you, just through a ritual, through the technology, he will be entered. Satan will possess the body. He'll be the first person to receive the mark. We will be living in the book of Revelation in real time once that right eye wound takes place. Christian Bale to that rising date of 4/14, 1968, the year of 2001, A Space Odyssey, RFK, MLK, FAKE, STAGED events. Also the date of the same day that 2001 A Space Odyssey came Planet of the Apes, and also the Heidi Bowl, which took place on 11/17, the right eye, utterly darkened Raiders playing the Jets. Heidi 2 is on the movie marquee of Groundhog Day. I've shown y'all that many times. If you want to see it, just ask. Also look at 2 months, 16 days for 216 code, 6 times 6 times 6, and James Bond's card tag. All except for No Time to Die. His card tag in that movie was 4269. But there it is, 1968. And on the event day, it'd be 1966. Or if you don't include both dates, 1965. Remember, 65, the 65th prime number is 313, which is the Zapruder film of the headshot. Come over to Daniel Craig. His birthday, when you run it to 4/12, if you include both dates, you do have the year of 2026, 21226. Nothing major popping off there, but it is what it is. Daniel Craig got shot and killed in the film Layer Cake. And there it is, being 86 on 4/12, 7863 days. There's your 86 right there. There's your 216 code ready. 21 years, 6 months. 216. Followed by 11. So the 611 is an upside down 911. We get that. There we go. Layer Cake. All right. American Psycho. Again, Christian Bale is always playing Trump in every movie. And here he is here in American Psycho. He is the American Psycho. And look at that. Lo and behold, release date 12/21, which is 121 Antichrist in simple gematria. And there's your April 14th date, which would be the rising day. It is 102 minutes, and day 102 of the year is the 12th, which would be the event day. And then its release date is April 12th, which would be the rising day. Remember, it's a spiritual rising. Nobody will know he's alive because he never died. It's a twin clone or body double that takes the right eye wound, and then Satan through a ritual would just possess the real body or the other twin. But we think I think there's one Donald Trump. That's what Ronald MacDonald is about. And Bill Maher said as much. He said he thinks Trump is a set of twins. He was talking about alter ego, but it's truth in plain sight. He said, I think Trump is a set of twins. There's Ronald Trump and Donald Trump. That's what your Ronald MacDonald is about because Connor MacLeod from the movie The Highlander, Trump is the Highlander. His mother's maiden name was MacLeod. So, yes. So now let's run American Psycho. 79 both dates, Sundance, it says. So, all right. So when you run the 121 Antichrist Sundance Film Festival date, 2/4/12, if you include both dates, you do get that 79 murder in the days. Or don't include both dates, you get 79 murder on 4/11. And we suspect, like, if it's going to happen at UFC, their event would take place. Remember, Miami's the storm, the coming storm. You know, the Miami Hurricanes, they represent the storm. You know, when Trump talked about the coming storm, that's what and they think they're going to get this big reset. They don't believe in the Bible. They don't think that the earth is going to go biblical. And of course, we know it will. And so on 4/11, without including both dates, you still get the 79. So 1368 in the weeks, either way. And there's your 68 again. All right, what else? The USA release date is 4/14, Rising Day. It's 311 months. I guess I missed that. Let's go back 311 months. That's the date of the 4/12. So if we go to the 4/12, to the Rising Day. Well, where did we get the 311 months at? Apparently I saw that earlier, but now it's not hitting or connecting on it. I'll include both dates. Whoops, on 4/12. Oh, it's 4/14 is the release of the movie. I don't know. I don't know how in the world just scrap it. Anyway, I don't know what I was looking at. Madonna's American Life, which is all about war. And if you look to the 86ing day of 4/12, you see 22, 11/22, which, yeah, that's a two-digit palindrome. Same number backwards and forwards, but that's JFK assassination date coded 11/22. And we don't know really what all that was about. Was that the first time they popped a clone? But and then notice the 22 years, 22nd prime number is 79 for murder. And yeah, that's pretty much it for that one. And the album release date, one's the album, one's a song. The other one is 3/22 for Skull and Bones. And you run that to our 4/12 date, and it's 8,422 days. There's your 22 again. Remember, District 22 was on the school bus. The Joker drove out. in the dark night, darkened right eye, Donnie Darko, Donald's darkened right eye. That District 22, in my opinion, stands for nothing more than the 22nd prime number, 79, which is Murder in Simple Gematria. Go over to Batman Begins on 6/15, 2005. You get 7606 on the event day. There are 606 coded for 66th book of the Bible is Revelation. It's 1086 weeks. So you got 86 in the weeks. On the rising day, it's 7608. So you have 68 then coded. 68 is a reversal of 86, which also represents rising. The film The Prestige. The weeks and the days all rising on rising day. So look at this 1017. Now, 1017 for the Prestige, which is all about, three parts of a magic trick, and the Prestige is when you bring him back, which would represent rising or Abomination of Desolation. Be interesting to run these dates to our 8/12 also. But notice it's 7/11/19. And so 19 is a backwards 9/11. And don't forget, September 11th was really about 11/7, because September was once the 7th month, like October Octagon. Octopus was once the 8th month, and most countries write the date reverse of the United States. So that date was really about Revelation 11/7. So there's your 7/11 fused with a backwards 9/11, 7/119 in the days to the rising day. And look at the weeks, 117. Also, what was on the Top Gun Maverick jet, the 1017. Let's drop the 0. There's your 117, Revelation 11/7. Go to the next Prestige date, and it's perfect with the 7/11 in the days fused with an 11/6. 11/6 is a backwards and upside down 9/11, which was also given to us at the Twin Pines Mall on the clock. And we've shown you all that many times. So that's an easy Google search. And notice the 101. This has got 116 also in the weeks. So the days and the weeks are all just popping on these dates with the Prestige. Just mind-blowing. And all this on the rising day, on the Till Tuesday date. Lastly, 79 on Murder Day. 7093 days for the other Prestige date. Drop the zeros, 793. There you go. And there's your 11/3 code on the weeks, 1013. One World Trade Tower opened on 11/3. The mirror of that is 3/11, which is when the WHO declared the global illness. And of course, we got on LOCKDOWN 2 days later on 3/13, representing the Zapruder film. But let's go back to the March 11th. March 11th is the direct opposite of September 11th, third month to the 9th month. So it's halfway across, and it's the same day, 11 to 11. So it is the exact mirror opposite of 9/11, again, representing 11/7, or the beast rising. And we told you that 11/3 was the opening of One World Trade Tower, which represented the rising of the twins. And the mirror of November 3rd, or 11/3, the opening of One World Trade Tower, is 3/11, which sits across as another type of mirror of September 11th or Revelation 11/7. So it's all representing rising. So this is, so when you see the 113 in the weeks, that's a big deal. And it's still that on the rising day of the 14th, if we have this date correct. So That's why I like looking at all these clues. When I get fixated on a date, I like to start looking at what all is bouncing off of it. The Dark Knight, all about the darkened right eye. Release date 7/18/2008. It was very interesting that it's the address of a place I just sold, 6477. That's pretty weird. Was wanting to make it a rental property, but you had to own the place for a year. So I had to put it on the market and it sat for a while, finally sold. But there it is. 6477. That's just so weird. And then the 14th was a premiere date, and it's 6481. I like that 648 because that's my mom's number, 279648. Rest in peace. 279 or 79 is murder, followed by the 648. So it's a personal cipher murder code connection on our potential murder date from the premiere of The Dark Knight. There it is right there. Okay. Barbenheimer was when Barbie and Oppenheimer came out on the same day, which is the same exact as The Dark Knight came out the same day as Mamma Mia. And The Dark Knight Rises came out on the same day as Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again, both July 20th. The only thing about Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again, it was 6 years later. So they connected Mamma Mia with The Dark Knight on the same day of July 18th, 2008. And then they connected the Dark Knight Rises to Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again, both on the third day or on July 20th. July 18th to July 20th, rising on the third day, Dark Knight Rises. But Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again, that July 20th release date was 6 years after The Dark Knight Rises, 2012 to 2018. But you see how cryptically and how perfect they married Mamma Mia and The Dark Knight. Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again, Dark Knight Rises. And so I always tell people, Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again is really 9/11, Here We Go Again. And so Barbenheimer, when they did the girl movie with the Christopher Nolan movie, because that's what it is. They're both Dark Knight and Oppenheimer. These are Christopher Nolan films. They called it Barbenheimer. That's even in Wikipedia. There's a Barbenheimer, which explains the marriage of the two movies, how it became a meme. When you run it to our dates, it's 32 months, 22 days. So there's your 322 Skull and Bones fused with 222 code fused with 22. So 22 is all over the place. It's also 142 weeks, 2 days. So you got 1422. If you include the rising day, it's 998. And the 98th verse is the White Horse Crowning verse. So we now move over to some premiere dates for both movies that separate them. There it is. I got it down here, the Barbie. The premiere dates and Oppenheimer's premiere dates. Yeah, I got into that later on, but we get to it. Hang loose. Donnie Darko came out on 119. 119 is Donald in the Jewish Hebrew Gematria. So on January 19th at Sundance, 2 Hour Rising Day, it's 9,216 days. There's your 216 coded. That's a big deal. Like they really want us to think all this stuff is going down at this time. When the AI lays these breadcrumbs out like this, they know we're going to pick up on it. We're the only person. We're the only site that does stuff like this. There's other so-called decoding. There's decoding with Cody, and I don't know if that's an AI I mean, it is a human speaking, or it's a front man for the AI that puts out all these false breadcrumb, ridiculous decodes. But there's nobody that does what we do, teaching the truth in God's word like we do. No free will, hell is not eternal torment, along with what the mark of the beast really is: total human body possession, nothing more, nothing less, and how, yeah, no free will and all that. So, and who we think the Antichrist is. That's of course a speculation, but I think everybody's going to see it real. So there's your Sundance of Donnie Darko, Donald's darkened right eye, Donnie Darko. It's all about the right eye wound, Frank the Rabbit, all that good fun stuff. So there's your 216 code for the Rising Day. That's pretty much perfect. The USA release date of Donnie Darko to the Rising Day, you get 8936, 8934. 2 days earlier on the right eye wound day, and 34 is murder in one of the four base gematria ciphers. I think reduction. But 8936, 36 is Adam in the Jewish Hebrew gematria, and 89 is in his number in the Jewish Hebrew gematria with both names, Donald Trump and Donald J. Trump. It's either 589 or 1189. So 89 is a big deal with him in gematria. Yeah, there's the murder code I was telling you about. 8934. Get your murder code. Okay. And when they went 88 miles per hour was on 10/26/1985. When you include both dates to our murder date, it is 14,779. So a lot of 79s when you include both dates. If you don't include both dates and you back it to the 11th, ooh, it's 14,777. Yeah. Oof. Okay. We like that. But it's on the, what am I trying to say? Anyway, include both dates to the 12th. Yes. That's how you get your 79. If you run it to the rising day, anyway, 47's in all of them, which is his big number. Very interesting. Back to the Future. So Back to the Future to the event day, 148.93. Remember, 148 is Donald J. Trump in simple gematria. 357 begins the hours, which is the amount of verses in the book of Daniel. Back to the Future 2, sure enough, came out on 11/22, JFK assassination date. And I don't know, that's nothing really big that I see going on there. So let's look at, I think this is the Barbie. No, this is, yeah, this is the Barbie premiere, which now separates it from Barbenheimer. And Oppenheimer. What's so weird is Oppenheimer's premiere was on an 11th date, and Barbie's was on a 9th date, so it's coded for 9/11. Now look at Barbie. Premiere date 7/9. 79 is murder. It's OJ's birthday. It's Tom Hanks' birthday. That's why the big players on the big stage. And that's why they got the orange juice in the front of the Twin Towers on the Breakfast in America album. And the Twin Towers are sitting above the U and the P. When you reverse the U and the P, it is a 9/11. So when we're looking at this, it's 33 months, 3 days. 333 code. That's a really big deal. It's a perfect end times church in the weeks, 144. The church in the book of Revelation, the end times church, 144,000. So this this Barbie premiere date gives it its own date to our murder date, Now, you're also seeing James Bond 008. If you run it to the 11th, you're seeing 007. All big deals. So Barbie came out, the toy came out on March 9th, 1959. When we run March 9th, 1959 to our 412 date, you got 88 in the hours, you got 144 representing the church in the hours. We're always told to look at the hours from the film titled The Hours, with Ed Harris, who played Kane in Top Gun Maverick, along with Nicole Kidman, along with Devil Wears Prada star Meryl Streep. Devil Wears Prada, Devil in a Blue Dress, Satan, the shape-shifting male fallen angel into the female goddess in the technology, the divine feminine. So Oppenheimer, like I told you, 7/9 to 7/11, 9/11 coded. The Oppenheimer premiere date, July 11th, which is 7/11 code. When we run the person named Oppenheimer, he's 121 years old today, 11 months, 21 days. So it's 121 on one end and 121 on the other end. It's 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1. 44,550. Remember, 55 is Satan in one of the four base ciphers. 44 always represents Revelation, 404 verses. That's just, man, that's just a big deal right there. The Oppenheimer's death, was it his real death date? 21603. To the event day or to the rising day, 21605. 216, remember, 6 times 6 times 6. James Bond's car tag. 79 is in the months. 386 is in the weeks. 38 fused with 86, drop the 0. 3086, 38 fused with 86. Remember, 38 is death in simple gematria. It's murder in reverse reduction gematria. 86 means to eliminate. It's 709 months. 79 is coded. Murder in simple gematria. Big deals abound. These are really, 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 really big deals. And we're going to call it a video at this point. But that's where we're at so far. All right, love you guys.